Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope everybody is doing well. So we smart के अंदर launchpad और launchpad के इसमें हम चला रहे life skills the journey. हमने बहुत सारे अच्छे एक्सपर्ट्स के देखे हैं, बहुत सारा टेक्निकल ज्ञान शेयर हो रहा है, लाइफ स्किल्स के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो आज ऐसे ही एक स्किल के बारे में बात करेंगे विच इज वेरी क्लोज टू आवर हार्ट्स, है ना, एंड दैट इज फोटोग्राफी, राइट? सो फोटोग्राफी क्या है? एज इन इट्स जस्ट द आर्ट. You click, I mean, you better click with the shutter and not with people or otherwise. So ऐसा एक कॉम्बिनेशन, बहुत जोरदार कॉम्बिनेशन लेके आई हूँ. मेरे साथ है विजय चंद्रन. ही इज सीए, ईवाई दुबई में है, ऑडिट संभाल रहे हैं. And if you go to his Instagram, I'm sure you will be his follower, right? So let me welcome Vijay. Vijay, hi. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm already a follower, so I'm already a fan, right?
Okay.
So I would love, I mean, rather, we would love to know about your life journey, how CA, then how Dubai, then how ENY, and then how audit, and how this photography or videography or and what. And I'm sure you are all in guitar, you are in sports, whatnot, right? So we would love to know about your story, this young talent, right? This young blood. So I'm sure our students and viewers can relate with this energy so well. So up to
Yep. Thank you so much, Sayali, for such a warm welcome. I've already feel great to be at your channel. And am I audible right now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And I also have a coffee right now. It gives me that feeling of coffee with Sayali. And the pleasure is mine to be at your channel. And firstly, I would say it's a great initiative that you've done. I think as a student, I've always had these questions in my mind: what are my options available after I do CA? And there have always been such platforms which I was searching for, and I wouldn't get a great platform to do that. But I think this is a beautiful platform for people, especially our CA fraternity and students, to know and acknowledge themselves कि इतने सारे options हैं, so that it's easy, and it's a good platform for the students mainly to have a clear picture and a clarity. And I would rather prefer to speak in English and Hindi. I hope that's fine. I might mix here and there. So I'm not able to hear you.
No, because I'm not speaking.
Okay. You just did that. Okay, fine. So, okay, let me just give a brief introduction. Having said all these things, I'm from basically I'm from Kerala. I was born in Kerala, and I've grown in different places of India because my dad was in a central government. He was working at a central government, and so he has this transfer happening every 3 years. So I've grown up in Madhya Pradesh. I've grown up in Andhra Pradesh. So one advantage I got is to learn learn languages from these places, because when you're a child, you don't subconsciously learn all the languages. Abhi kya, if you want to learn language, you're like, okay, सीखना पड़ रहा है. But during those my childhood days, I was lucky enough to be at different places, so I had an exposure to different languages. So and I majorly grew up in Coimbatore, which is in Tamil Nadu. So I did my schooling from Coimbatore majorly, and my college was also from a college called PhD Commerce CAS is what we call. So I did my BCom from there, and then I finished my CA along with that. And briefly, this is how I ended up here. So yeah, I mean, if you ask me how did I get into this profession, that's an important question, which usually it's I mean, if I just have to say, बचपन से ऐसे होते जाते हैं कि you have different ambitions. कि पहले I remember my mom keeps on telling to everybody कि Vijay, when he was growing up, he used to say, I want to become Rajnikant police. Because I think I saw some movie and I said, I want to become like, obviously, sir, Rajnikant is such a famous character, and, he's inspired a lot of us. So, I used to say, ki, I want to become like Rajnikant, and, wo bachpana chalte gaya. And I think when I came up, I grew up, and then slowly after 10th, one thing was very particular, that mujhe science nahi lena tha. So this is how I ended up here, because mere ghar mein utha lo, every ex, abhi mera bada bhai ho gaya, he's an engineer, कोई और डॉक्टर है. तो इज लाइक, यार ये क्या हुआ, मतलब अब ये तो नहीं लेना. I don't want, like, at least let's do something different. And that's how I ended up in commerce. And my dad or my elder brother, they were always supportive, and they said, ki boss, you do whatever you feel like. And
Right.
if you don't want to do that, it's fine. So I think that space and independence right from the beginning I've got. So uske baad maine commerce liya. Then another factor of taking CA was reverse psychology.
Okay. And was
Basically,
that?
yeah, that what happened is, yeah, after my 11th and 12th, then the next thing, I was not too planned. I'm a pretty average guy. Schooling में भी हो गया, college में भी हो गया. I was not extraordinary in my studies, but मुझे पता था क्या करना है. And I used to keep myself low.
Mm-hmm.
It also happened कि 12th के exams में my brother used to say, boss, बेटा pass होके आजा. That's how the expectation was. And that's how, so what I do is I keep the expectations low, and then when you get more,
Excel
you're
it.
very happy.
Right.
So, it's always better to do that way. So, and then after 12th, what happened is, when I said, okay, I was looking into what are the professions, which, I mean, right from the beginning, because I've been in sports all my childhood.
Mm.
I've been in football and cricket. I mean, I was always in the ground, and I never used to go home. So, itna sara sports tha mere life mein. So I was always, that helped me gain a lot of challenging attitude towards anything. You gain a lot of skills, and you gain a character when you have sports in your life. I would say, I would emphasize that every child should go through that process. So I had a very healthy childhood. Let's take my parents and all, and I was well nourished. So on that basis, I think 12th के बाद I saw which is more challenging, and I said CA करते हैं यार. I had one person in my family who was a chartered accountant, and everybody was like, oh, he's a chartered accountant. So I was like, wow. So यार इसमें कुछ तो दम है. This CA prefix आने में बहुत, there's something about it. So then I was like, okay. Then monetary terms, like, okay, पैसा ज़्यादा कैसे कमाएं? They're like, okay, CA is also a good profession, and you can also earn money, you can earn respect, and it's something which you can't do easily. So I was like, I don't want to stand in a queue which is very normal. I want to stand in a queue which is having a very tight, and you need to earn for it. So I said, I'll do it. This is what is running in my back of my mind. Everybody's like, नहीं तेरे नहीं होगा.
Mm-hmm.
Vijay, what CA? यार इतने लोग इतने साल से बैठे हैं, you will not be able to do it. And that's when came that fire कि चलो. And I was like silent, ठीक है, हो जाएगा.
Silent
कर
killer.
लेंगे. Silent हो जाओ. We will answer them back with the results. So I was like, but my dad always knew about me. He's like, okay, Vijay, what do you want to do? Like I said, Dad, I want to do this. Like, okay, go for it. Not a big deal. So he knew that, okay, this boy can do something in life. So I said, okay, I'll go for it. पहला CPT हो गया खलास. And like, oh, people are surprised. अरे यार, इसने कैसे खत्म किया? फिर it started off from there, and then I did my inter खलास हो गया. फिर I did my articleship in India. It was a beautiful journey, and then final. Okay, then I'm here. So
yes. So
that's
how difficult it was to get through in EY Dubai immediately after after you clear your CA? Because I
okay.
remember our GMCS this thing. So that batch you were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that batch also I remember you're sitting ekdam back bench पे आराम से बोलिए क्या
But
बोलना चाहते
यार
हैं.
आपके क्लास में तो I was paying huge attention, because
So
आपके क्लास में ऐसे नहीं हो सकता
now
कि attention ना ले पाए, because you grab the attention,
no, so now
you
I got that low key
low
and then
profile.
yes dish and then look at
Exactly,
me ekdam Instagram pe follower. so what,
exactly.
so how difficult, coming back to my question, how difficult it
Yeah.
was कि EY में जाना, दुबई में जाना, कनेक्ट्स थे नहीं थे, या फिर अगर कोई CA बंदा है जिसके पास कोई कनेक्ट नहीं है, कोई एक्सपोजर नहीं है, he doesn't know anyone there back in Dubai or maybe Middle East or अबू धाबी ले लीजिए, जहाँ अपने बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री है या फिर बिग 4 है, तो कैसे, मतलब अगर किसी को जाना है तो how they can do, that's second, and how did you land up into EY का this opportunity?
Okay, I'll maybe answer the later one first, so that the first question is easier to,
right,
it's more comprehensive. So what I did was, as I said, okay, my articleship period, so I was in a mid-sized firm in the first year, and it was very good. I learned what audit is basically from a mid-size and a small size firm. I mean, how much ever I say, I'll always be thankful to the firm and the partners, and who are taught me those things. So actual audit to मैंने वहां से सीखा था. But as I went through, I had one of a mentor. So I was, again, मेरा दिमाग चलते रहता है कि यार क्या करे अगला वो and all that. So then I was like, I was always interested. I want to go get an international exposure, in something which was always hitting my mind. Traveling has always been one thing which has always loved to do. So I said, why not yaar isme traveling bhi milega, and you're going getting an international exposure. You work with different kinds of people from different parts of the world. So I said, okay, Dubai is an attractive destination. At the same time, I also didn't want to go too far away from my family, because
Correct.
as you know, Dubai is like as much
Hours,
as far
two
as
hours,
Dubai,
1 hours.
Delhi
Yeah,
to
Deloitte,
my places.
Coimbatore. Yeah.
So शायद और भी जल्दी पहुंच जाऊंगा मैं दुबई से. So I said, okay, let's calculate इसमें what best suit होता है तो Dubai. So then I had one person who joined my mid-sized firm who came from Yemen. So
Okay.
he said, okay, Vijay, I mean, I was working with him, and I mean, I'm more of a guy who likes to ask a lot of questions and, gain knowledge out of it. So I used to keep asking him, sir, how did you manage to do it? What was the procedure? He told me, see, the best way you need to do, or the strategy is, you need to, get into a big four, right? In an audit firm or a big four firm first, into all these countries, because these are the people who first recruit you. And then from there, moving into an industry or any other place is going to be an easy job, right? And if you want to get I mean, the best exposure you could get is to get into a big four always. So he said this, and I was like, okay, then how do people recruit you even in a big four? Kaise tumhe lenge? Then he said, you need to have a big four experience, a prior big four experience. And I was like, okay, fine. So then I asked, what should I do? Because I didn't want to delay myself from going. I know that this is going to be my path. So what am I going to do? If I had an intention ki I want to open my own firm, and also I would have rather, I stick to the same place, and I would have learned a lot of more of, taking individual clients, let's say. But my intention was to go out. So I said, okay, why do we need to waste time? I always had an option to transfer. So I applied for a transfer. I got transferred to a big four, and I did my articleship from there. So I finished my articleship, and then definitely connects are very important. As a connect 4 5 years back from Pune, and
Yes.
I end up on your channel today. So it's that's how the connects work. So I had my friend
Mm-hmm.
who was my friend in mid-sized firm, who had
Correct.
gone from there, and he joined one of the firm in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
So he referred my name to the big four I work with right now. So, and then they took my interview, because I had this prior experience, and I've cleared CA. That's a major priority, because in big fours, I send a lot of profiles that they don't get selected because they do not have a prior big four experience. So which is a big difficulty. So if you have if you're a qualified chartered accountant, and if you have a big four experience, this is how you go about it. So if you have an articleship experience, that also counts. If
Mm-hmm.
not, if you've done an articleship from a mid-sized firm or a firm which is not a big four or a big 10 for that, say,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself move into a big four first,
For a
get
year or
yourself
so.
experience for 1 or 2 years, and then bang, you
Mm.
just reach out to me or directly apply,
Right.
and I can send the profile. And this is a basic criteria, because even if people even if there's a relative of mine or somebody who's really close to me, I wouldn't be able to pass their resume unless you have this qualification, because big fours, this is how they work.
Oh,
So if for you to come out of India and you want to join in Dubai, people who all your viewers and all those students who are watching this right now, if they want to get out of India and want a job in Dubai, the first thing you have to do is get yourself into a big four,
mm-hmm.
get a good experience, get learning,
Mm-hmm.
and clear your CA exams, and then Dubai is open for you.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
is there any otherwise than, like, I mean, you answered both of the questions कि अगर मैं mid size firm से हूँ, mid size city से हूँ, तो वो एक kind of stigma रहता है यार, will I be able to do that, या ये हो सकता है
Mm-hmm.
या वो हो सकता है. So that what according to you, I mean, जो जितने बार आप वहाँ पे जितने सालों से आप रह रहे हैं, so what generally people look into the candidate कि क्या चाहिए रहता है उनके लिए, apart from ये हो गया कि चलो मैं बिग फोर से आ गया, मैं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, what else is required there, कि क्या
Okay.
वो सॉफ्ट स्किल देख रहे हैं या फिर आपका.
Yes, definitely. So if I have to break it down, so see, first, as I already told you, the qualification is important.
But
Then yeah, definitely, if you have a big, so the reason why they ask for a big four experience is, first, that you have worked in the same kind of an environment and the culture that usually runs in a big four or a big 10, where and un culture mein, the one of the biggest. So if you see the parameters that we have during our audits and for our promotions also, इसमें बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, wherein client management हो गया, team management हो गया. So these are these are n number of parameters that they have for you to grow in a big four also. So it's not only technical skills.
Right.
They emphasize a lot on how you can manage a client, how how you manage the team, what's your communication skills, how are you able to deliver a particular thing to or your teammate, or or anybody from a different culture, or so if your communication is good enough and your adaptability is high, then that's a perfect candidate for a big four. Now you might not as well be from a big four but have these qualities, but you know uh, how the algorithm works. So agar aapke paas big four hai, so it's an added advantage ki ha,
Passport.
your filtration is your filtration
Yeah.
is quicker. Otherwise
Right.
also there are options. So
Mhm.
I know, if you ask me, there are three kinds of people. One, who have this big four experience, who come here, who get it. फिर ऐसे भी होते हैं मेरे, like I have one of my friend who's recently joined in a industry. So उनका कैसा था, he was working in a mid-sized firm in Dubai,
Mhm.
and then he went back to India.
Okay.
And after that, again after 3 or 4 years, he decided, I want to come back to Dubai. So there are these combinations also. So in that case also, there was a break, and there was like people, acha, he's from India, he has this profile, okay, will it pass on to a big four, or will an industry take him? He had been trying a lot, but since he had this prior experience in Dubai, they took him. Otherwise, somebody who's working in industry also wouldn't be too attractive as such to get here. But yes, I would say Dubai emphasizes a lot on Indian experience. Indian chartered accountants are a lot, they are valued a lot,
Mhm.
and the opportunities that we have here are huge. So the best strategy would be to get inside a big four and get here. Otherwise also there are options, like if you have good experience in an industry, which is also a Fortune 500 company, or something like that, you can always apply here. And finance and accounting sector में यहाँ पे काम हमेशा रहता है. So
I was about to ask
हम
you, apart from Big Four, what are the opportunities that one can think about, और कौन से areas में, कौन से इसमें एक Indian chartered accountant with decent work exposure रहा है, तो कहाँ apply कर
correct.
सकते हैं? What is the band? General, मतलब हमारे टाइम पे, ओके, तो हमारे टाइम पे वो एक मजाक, आई मीन लाइटर नोट, एक जोक होता था कि
Okay.
आप शेक्स के अंडर काम कर रहे तो यू कैन अर्न एनीथिंग, लाइक देयर इज नो
Okay.
लिमिट, एंड देन आप
Of course.
पॉरली पैसे कमा सकते हो कि लाइक अरे क्या ही कर रहे हो वहां जाके, राइट? तो वो जो डिस्पैरिटी थी, तो ये बहुत लाइटर नोट से एक हमारे इसमें वो फैलता था. इज इट स्टिल देयर, या फिर देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी? मुझे पता है कि मतलब मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव रोड रहता है कि हाँ फेरारी जा रही है, ये जा रहा है, वो जा रहा है, राइट? सो
Yes.
दैट्स हाउ इन जनरल जो हम बोलते हैं कि ऐसा थोड़ा सा लोगों के दिमाग में रहता है कि वो, तो लाइक दैट, व्हाट इज अ जनरल बैंड जो एक फ्रेशर एक्सपेक्ट कर सकता है इंडस्ट्री वाइज? डेफिनेटली दिस इज नॉट
Mm-hmm.
लाइक कोई रूल बुक नहीं है, कोई ये नहीं है,
So
बट
you mean
जनरल
you're asking about the salary band, average salary band?
salary
Okay.
band that one should expect to get in, because ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that okay fine मुझे job लग रहा है, but then you, if you're not very well researched, so
Mm-hmm.
you ended up working more for less, and meeting
Correct.
your
Correct.
standard of living can be बहुत difficult हो सकता है आपके लिए. So for that
Correct.
awareness perspective, I'm sure there are a lot many platforms available, but when it comes from the horse's mouth, तो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता
Correct.
है, isn't
Correct.
it? तो एक general ban industry wise, if you know and if you want to add up here.
Sure. वो this is a recent reel that's going very popular, right? You think money can't buy happiness? Habibi, come to Dubai. So यार यहाँ पे पैसों का कोई shortage है नहीं. And the way they say it, see, I would say in general, the cars and the luxury that you see is more, it's more affordable here, rather than, if you say, if I have to compare it with our country, because there's this is a tax heavy right now. I mean, there are plans of taxation, corporate taxation coming up next year, 2023 mein hone wala hai. But for now, this is how it is. So most of the things, like यहाँ पे भी हर आदमी, every XYZ, Tom, Dick, Harry has an iPhone here. And if I take it, compare it with India, it's like, oh, iPhone, मतलब there's a different class, and यहाँ पे वो affordable class में आ जाता है. Or for that, say, I would say there's a huge difference of margin in when compared to vehicles. आपने बोला Ferrari, so like I've seen many vehicles. There's a huge difference of pricing. Like abhi Ford Mustang jo tha, if you ask, the price in India is around 70 odd lakhs. If I'm not wrong. Now I think they've stopped it. But if I had compared it to the prices here, it's around, if to INR, it's around 25 lakhs. So that's the amount of, because there's almost 200% of customs that hits your when it comes and sits in your Indian market, which you don't have it here. So similarly, vehicles and all these things come up, which jo aankhon se aapko, it impresses you, but the major thing is the cost of living is high here.
Right.
घर पे यहाँ पे रहना है तो, for example, I mean, now right now I'm in a hotel, but I'm shifting my house. I've taken a new house. I've taken a
Yes.
1 bedroom, which is in central, part of Dubai. It's called the Business Bay. So it's a good house. But if I have to say, I pay around 52,000 for an unfurnished, 52,000 dirhams for an unfurnished house. And if not, let's not compare it now. Maybe 3 साल से मैं यहाँ पे हूँ. So I've at least paid on an average for a room sharing. Like I have a room. Let's say if I want to share with somebody else in a 1 bedroom house or a 2 bedroom house, I have to pay a minimum of 1,500 dirhams, which comes to 30,000 rupees. So it starts off with that. And then if you say you need privacy and you need a house or you need a room for yourself,
Right.
let's say with electricity, all these things, at least 50,000 to hona hi. So we need to keep this in mind before coming to Dubai. So if you're coming for a job which is paying you like 5,000 bucks, 5,000 dirhams, and then you're like,
नहीं हो
उसमें
पाएगा.
आधा से ज्यादा तो खाना और ये हो जाएगा, तो it's not worth it.
Right.
You're coming out of your home
That's
and all. So
precisely
I
what
would
I wanted to highlight here. कि don't
correct
just accept कि आपको मिल रहा
for
है,
the
अरे
reason
दुबई में
that
मिल
it's
रहा,
Dubai
हाँ,
and हाँ,
नहीं करो
तो
क्योंकि
छुट्टी में भी आ सकते हो आप हमेशा. एग्जैक्टली यार, एक
तो
फ्लाइट पकड़ लो, सीधा आ जाओ यहाँ
15,000
पे,
में
ऐसे
उधर.
करो, हो गया. तो उसका टेंशन नहीं है. बट इफ यू थिंक एंड यू वांट टू मेक अ फ्यूचर हियर, it's better to come at least with a minimum package of, I would say, see now अभी थोड़े packages और pays कम हुए हैं.
Correct.
But if you ask about big fours in my
Mhm.
firm, they've recently raised the pay scale.
Okay.
So it is also there. But if you ask, a decent package is around somewhere minimum of 10 and then 10 plus. So 10 to 15 as a beginner is a good decent package. If you're a bachelor, it's a good thing, because that makes sense, because when you need to do a calculative analysis कि अब इंडिया में अगर एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है और यहाँ पे आ रहा है, and if you don't get that benefit or saving, then doesn't make sense, because if you're coming with a family, you cannot definitely stay in a single room.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. So then you need to take a house, and that's going to cost you a lot. So if if your living is going to cost more than 50%, 60% of your salary, then doesn't make sense to come here. So I would say, if you're a bachelor, cleared CA, and you got a package of anything about 10 odd, and
Mhm.
it sounds very good to me. So
Good to you.
that's
Nice.
because then you have an opportunity to save a lot, and
Right.
makes worth the time
Mhm.
and efforts you're putting to come out of your family. And obviously, apart from this, you get an international exposure and all those things, because I work
Of
with
course.
different people in different
Right.
regions. I work with UK people from UK, and so you get a
Flavor
taste
of
of how
everything. Yes.
you get the flavor of how everybody is, and it's an amazing feeling, because you work with different people, what they expect from you, what is their culture of working. And so that's how it is. So
It is. Yeah. So no
yeah,
regrets so far, I can see.
no, not at all, because frankly, okay, audit has always been something which I've loved, because for the fact that as I've already told you, I've somebody who loves to learn things. Anything new is something I am always into. Audit has always given me, अभी 3 साल का आर्टिकलशिप में भी एकदम जबरदस्त. जाओ घूमो, get the planning stage सबसे बढ़िया था. You
Right.
get to visit their industries, and then so as I told you, I've already seen some poultry industries and all these things. So I don't even know I don't eat chicken, but I know the whole, यार मैं उनके पापा कौन है, उनके दादा कौन है, सब जानता हूँ. So and that's the best part. You get to learn a lot from audit. So audit has always given me that curiosity to stay in audit ki aise raho. So and I've worked with my manager currently is Ukrainian, and she's amazing. And I mean, perhaps for what condition right now is happening is sad, but she's been an inspiring character. And I've worked with people from UK, so that's the best part. You have so much of experience that you can go back and describe.
Exactly. And that's why precisely we are here. Now that we are talking
Yes.
about CA plus audit, and there is one thing which makes you a little different is your photography,
Just
is
one
your
thing.
videography. Just no,
Yeah,
there
just
are
one thing.
many, but then I'm just aware about these three things: your sports,
Okay.
your guitar, and your this what
Yeah.
Instagram profile which you create, and those are amazing
Thank you so much.
videos.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
So a
much.
little bit about it. How do you do that? How you manage? How
Okay.
did you land up there? Yeah, what क्या आपको what motivates
क्या
you to be there?
कीड़ा और आग?
Bas,
What is it?
that's what about it.
That's the right
That's
Pune
right.
style.
And how
Okay.
did you do that?
Uh,
Like, man, being into EY, audit
Correct.
के भी, how did you sneak out and then फटाक से एक reel बना देते?
Yes.
It'll
Correct.
never happen like that, right? There's a lot of efforts. Editing में effort होते हैं, songs में efforts
Correct.
होते हैं. There's so much in the background and we just हाँ ठीक है reel. अरे but then it's like बहुत ज़्यादा उसके पीछे
Efforts.
efforts
Yeah.
रहते हैं, right?
I mean, thank you so much for acknowledging this part कि बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है बहुत सारे लोगों से बोलने के लिए. And the part is, I mean, even if I'm putting a video in for playing the guitar or जो भी हो जाए, उसके पीछे बैकग्राउंड में तो बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिस और ये होता है. I mean, because I am not any great, as I said, I'm average, and I like to do it, and I do it from my heart. That's all is special, if I would say, because I just do whatever it is from my heart, give 100% to it. मजे में करो, enjoy the process. That's all I believe in. And I've like people have liked that way of doing it, and that's how it is. So क्या होता है जब प्रैक्टिस करते बैठ के, यार क्या दोस्त लोग बोले क्या बजा रहे हैं यार, फटाफट बजा ना, कुछ अच्छा गाना है. लाइक नहीं यार भाई, एक because you want to deliver maximum precision हो सकता है उतना उतना ट्राई करते हैं. तो एंड there's so much of thing. For example, अभी हम लोग जब मूवी देखते हैं, all
Right.
these things I got to know when I got into this field and when I started to learn about things. So अभी छोटा सा एक हो गया, हम लोग अभी we seeing this RRR हो गया, बाहुबली हो गया, छोटा सा जो हम देख रहे हैं. Okay, बाहुबली evidently we can see so many things happening, but all the movies otherwise which you enjoy, there's so much of work, or photos that you see, there's so much of work, patience which goes behind it. There's a lot of detailing, small things matter a lot. And for example, agar videography jo मैं सीख रहा हूँ,
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting majorly into videography, and that's a separate field altogether. Photography is different from videography. Videography has 5 parts of it. You have abhi shoot ho gaya, pre-production, storyboarding hota hai.
Mm-hmm.
Like you first write down the story of how your movie has to go on, and then there's something called sound designing, wherein when you usually watch something with your eyes and your ears.
Right.
So you don't understand subconsciously, बहुत सारी चीजें register होते हैं. But अगर आपने जब when you see, for example, अभी छोटा सा you seeing a horror movie,
Mm-hmm.
or or somebody sad, or somebody's horror movie हो गया, छोड़ lighting हो गया.
हाँ.
Somebody has to keep the light on the bottom. If you wouldn't have observed, but when I say right now, you would have understood. हाँ यार, हर movie में ऐसे होता है. Somebody is going through a psychological issue or is being sad or upset, light ऊपर रखते हैं. So ऊपर रखते हैं. And somebody's अभी there are so many movies where these army people, or you are in a part of where you want to decide something. So lights are put on one side is dark and one side is you have the light. So there's so much things to learn here, and color grading is another section. So this is so much of detailing that you see even in a 1-minute video. एक ट्रेलर भी देख लिया आपने, उसमें बहुत सारे चीजें होते हैं और बहुत सारा टाइम कंज्यूम होता है. And like Rajamouli sir, if you see 5 years of making a movie, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
So
No.
there's so much of detailing that goes into. So how I ended up here is maybe if I have to start off, मैं बचपन से, I mean probably when I was like in my 11th or 12th, I started making some small videos for my friends. And छोटे short photos हो गए and videos हो गए, मैंने अपने दोस्तों के birthdays पे मुझे I used to give them, and that's how it started off. And I used to feel वो जो pleasure उनको मिलता है by seeing such videos and things, I used to like it. And then I had this कि यार always when you capture those moments which don't not going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see through your lens, that's a different eye, and there are certain things which you can't see, your lens can do that.
Right.
For example, I've had many photos in my profile, if people can check. There's something called Milky Way galaxy photography, and there's some different. So Milky Way galaxy जो हम
देख रहे बैठ
we
के,
wouldn't be able to
naked eyes.
to
No.
that with our naked eyes also nahi. It seems very dark.
Right.
But in your camera, camera captures beautifully. And I have some few shots which people can check in my Instagram profile, which I've shot. And there's different types of photography that you can do. So it started off like this when I started to make
I
videos
think
and
the
photos for
stint is back in your college days when you started your own event management thing. So I
yes,
believe
okay,
that
yeah.
that could be one of the trigger
Yeah, I
areas.
mean, event management. So yes, I've, like, for me, I've been a person who's always, I'm still, I think, and I will go on discovering myself. You never know what is your potential until you don't challenge yourself. So for that, say, let's say music, as you mentioned, I'm an intermediate level guitarist, and I mean, I'm just learning a lot to learn. So both abhi, there's so much that I have to learn, but I can manage to play right now. And I'm learning classical guitar from one of my friend who's teaching me. So that's my next aim, to learn, have a fluency in classical guitar. So I've always been curious to learn such art. And you need to live your life. You need to, that something has to keep you alive. And the part of learning every day keeps me alive and makes me feel happy about that. Yeah, aaj to kuch seekha na hai. And that's how it is. So event management, yes, I think during my college days, I was again the same curiosity of doing new things, of managing something. I was always enthusiastic and active. I mean, bachpan mein, if you ask, I have an elder brother, so four of us. And my elder brother has been an extrovert right from the beginning. He's always catches the attention कि यार ये नवीन का भाई विजय है. तो ऐसे होता था हमेशा. And he was a very active guy, still is an active guy. He was one of the best speakers and all this. So मेरे को हमेशा ऐसा लगता था. So this was one of the things which broke my shell. So
Right.
it's like, oh yaar, this guy is so active. I need to compete, and I need to apna bhi kuch karna. That made me come out of my shell. And I think then slowly got into how my vision or my perspective changed from there on. So then I challenged myself. I took new things for event management, because as I said, I was into sports. I wanted to do something here. So I started off with a few of my friends, and we did some different kind of sport event. Like, you have seven format of cricket and then five football and those things. So during my college days, college to gaya nahi, papa hi gaye the other time, because as I told you, I was like, I'm a notorious guy, but I respect my teachers and all. ऐसे वैसे notorious नहीं, but I used to go less to the college, and उतना थोड़ा ऐसे चीजें होते थे, because I was confident कि मेरा CA हो जाएगा. So I used to do these things, and that was a very good exposure to me. So yes, it started off from there. But photography, if you say, if I had to precisely say, Dubai se jab main aaya hu, it's been like
Mm-hmm.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
My interest towards this has gone to a greater extent, because I would say, I came here first. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody as such. So now I had to find a source of doing something new.
Right.
And so it was an opportunity for me to learn, because अभी कोई है नहीं, relatives नहीं है, दोस्त नहीं है, ज़्यादा ज़्यादा लोग नहीं है, तो यार अब you can focus and give yourself more time.
Mm.
Which I love to do, because I love to spend time to myself and give enough of time to myself. So मैं गया एक यहाँ पे, there's a app called Meetup. One of my friend told me, just join that and just go. So I think in the second week I went to a photo shoot event, and from there it began. And now I am in a level where I really want to do. So you can see my Instagram. I have a registered, I mean, drone, and I have a drone license. So I do a lot of drone videography as well, and photography as well. So showing videos in different perspectives is always beautiful. So I love to travel. I've done my travel vlogging YouTube also, which is not too active now, but I need to, because I couldn't get much of a time. But as you asked me, time management is important.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Four expects a lot from you. It's if you say, it's usually not easy to manage with Big Four, because यहाँ पे, and if you see Dubai and India, there's a big difference. The team
Right.
that you have here is less than what you have in India. You have like 3 articles or 2. There's a bigger team usually than in what is here in Dubai. So your expectations are a little more. So you need to meet the expectation. But yes, if you can manage your time, and if you can, so I used to work till और से जितना भी टाइम हो गया, ऑफिस के बाद फटाफट घर गया. I am a friend here who helps me in, he comes, he has his car, he comes, he picks me up, and he's also a photography enthusiast. He does some amazing photography. His name is Tariq. So we go together and we do different kinds of photography. So I got a good friend here who's also into this. So after my office hours, this is something which gives me a stress buster, just like you might like to cook or do something else when you are in your highest stress. So that releases your stress. So something like that is what connected me to the lens. And then that's how the journey started.
This is so beautiful, and I vividly remember one of my directors, right? So I just had ऐसे एक normal conversation with, and
Okay.
लाइफ के बारे में बातें हो रही थी. Then he said कि यार साइली अब क्या मतलब, हाँ अब डायरेक्टर लेवल पे पहुंचना है. Then he said हाँ then क्या मतलब, फिर एमडी, फिर सीईओ, सीएफओ, मतलब अटेंड टू दोज टाइटल्स ऐसा. तो उन्होंने मुझे बड़ा एक अच्छा सवाल पूछा था. उन्होंने बोला था कि हाँ, इमेजिन योरसेल्फ दैट, and I'm sure you'll attend to all those titles. अब आज समझ ले ये सारे टाइटल्स तुम्हारे पास है, फिर क्या? मैंने यार फिर क्या नहीं पता. आई मीन देन
अभी
मैंने
मत
पूछा
पूछो.
तो फिर क्या. सो देन ही सेड कि फिर क्या, इसका मतलब ये है कि एक कोई भी हॉबी या कोई भी म्यूजिक इंस्ट्रूमेंट या एनीथिंग दैट यू लाइक will keep you
Correct.
busy when you will attend, जो भी आप हाईएस्ट अटेंड कर सकते हो, जो भी आपके करिकुलम एज इन वर्क इसमें रहेगा, and that will keep you alive, because they say ना कि higher you go, you up in the ladder, lonely you become, right? तो
Correct.
तब क्या करोगे? So have any one, मैं ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा बिग और स्मॉल, कौन सा भी एक चीज उठाओ जिसमें आपका सोलास, जैसे आपने बोला हाईएस्ट पॉइंट
Correct.
ऑफ स्ट्रेस है, तो स्ट्रेस बस्टर क्या है? तो जिसमें आपको पैशन है, जिसमें आप कुछ कर सकते हो, पैसा मिल
Correct.
गया, फेम मिल गया, नेम मिल गया, और क्या चाहिए, और क्या करोगे, राइट? सो दैट, और एंड दैट्स प्रिसाइजली व्हाई my efforts here are to showcase people
Very good.
कि यार you know what, ये तो सब करेंगे हम, ऑडिट, टैक्स, आईडीटी, कॉस्टिंग, हम तो करने वाले, वी आर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, राइट? वी मतलब वो तो इट्स इन आवर ब्लड. बट देन वो और क्या है? सो दिस इज दैट और, राइट? पीपल वॉच हिम लाइक,
Correct.
बहुत सुंदर. मैंने आई लव दैट दूध सागर का आपने जो दैट वाटरफॉल का यू
Thank
क्रिएटेड.
you.
सो पीपल
Yeah.
प्लीज वॉच दैट. Then there is Isha Foundation ka he created with the nice background music and all.
Sure.
So that's one of few favorites of mine. But then you please go and check all the details
Please
I'm
don't.
giving.
Yeah. Make sure you keep my details. मेरा भी marketing
That's
हो
what I
जाए.
was about to tell me. Ki please check
Yeah.
the comment box for
Sure.
all the details. So all the links are being given here, and I'm sure you would love enjoying. It's a feast for your eyes. कि अरे कितना सुंदर कर सकते हैं. So
Thank
and
you.
that's where it clicked me. Yes, this can be one of the perspectives that we look. सीए करते करते भी हम ये भी कर सकते हैं, ईवाई में रह के भी हम ये भी कर सकते हैं ना. तो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. दैट और क्या is the answer. I mean, Vijay has this answer, or is probably videography or dancing, or
Yeah.
maybe guitarist, or maybe in
So
sports, right?
yeah, I mean, as you said, as you beautifully said, I think even I would say never settle in life. Like वो one plus का जो tag होता है, never settle. That's a beautiful tag. I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, just keep. I think if you read about these big giants among them, they also, for example, Bill Gates also for now also learns, reads books every 2 hours a day or something like that. So
Right.
learning has to be something which should always drive you. And यार मजे लो जिंदगी का, take life. There's a beautiful side of it. I mean, all your students, I'm sure there's no shortage of guidance from teachers like you. I mean, nothing else can we ask for. I'm pretty sure they're pretty much prepared and doing so. But usually क्या होता है सीए में लोग usually ऐसे हो जाते हैं कि they get deprived कि यार क्या यार, I'm not able to do this, I'm not. No. See, do things 100%. पढ़ाई हो गया, हाँ पढ़ाई करो 100% करो. As I even if I want to, I also want to put that instance, like मेरा सीए के टाइम पे I used to close my room पूरा 5 महीना. My dad and mom used to say यार मैं अंदर हूँ कैसे इतना. I was mad at it. तो मेरा attitude भी ऐसा था यार, करो या मरो, go for it or not. It's sometimes it's not right to have a plan B.
Right.
Because if you have a plan B, there's a comfort level.
Fall back.
कि ये नहीं हुआ तो वो.
हाँ.
So I mean, just a small thing for all the students who are repairing, because I've just moved out from that level. So just go for the kill. यार जो भी हो जाए 100% दो, and you at least have a satisfaction. Result तो हमारे हाथ में होता नहीं है, but जब अगर आप 100% दोगे तो there is nothing that can stop you. And then I think I traveled to Ladakh. I took a 25-day trip to Ladakh after that, and I was, you feel so rejuvenated, and your battery should recharge. So you need to have that phase of life. You have to be independent when you do everything. So just like even Sadhguru says it, I follow few of his words, and if you see the way he's beautifully, like in an interview they ask him, sir, how are you able to manage everything? It's like, whatever I do 100%.
Right.
It might be biking, it might be anything. So मेरा एग्जाम हो गया, मैंने बुक वुक छुआ नहीं, मैं गया 20 दिन आराम से मस्त 25 days. I loved the whole different world of it because I was like locked in a room for 3-4 months. I needed that. So I just
Right.
took a bike ride, 4,500 kilometers का पूरा cover किया हम लोगों ने. It was wonderful and I had so much of memories and I came back, got my results, cleared off, straight came to GS. आपके पास आया पुणे में, GMCS खत्म किया, had so much of fun.
Right.
And everything. So if you're positive, everything is positive. So I think students should have that charm. Subah utho, have a bright smile in your face. Learn that. Don't have a burden that you're learning, because when I was learning, I used to love learning those जो भी the taxation के हो गए. I used to learn in a practical way कि अगर मुझे कल मेरे टैक्स बचाना होता तो मैं कैसे बचा.
Correct.
So and I mean, chartered accountants are amazing here. I'm pretty sure all the students who are watching this are going to clear it off very soon, and all are going to be chartered accountants, and it's going to be amazing. It's an amazing feeling because once you become a chartered accountant, वो prefix लग जाता है, तो you get a lot of respect because that's how the journey is. So you gain a lot of respect as such. मेरे दोस्त तो वैसे मेरे को चिढ़ाते हैं, मैंने अभी फुटबॉल खेल रहा हूँ, गोल नहीं मारा तो बोलते यार कैसा सीए है तू. तो ऐसे हो जाता है कि सुपर नेचुरल पावर्स हो जाते हैं. That's what they expect from us. So it's a nice feeling, and I think everybody should be very positive about this. And I'm pretty sure having teachers like you, there's no problem. Now the accessibility is lovely. Like people in YouTube have so much of accessibility, and I think I've always loved the way you teach, and I know a lot of people who do the same thing, like the creative way of teaching things. So I'm pretty sure nothing can stop people from doing it. Just tell them to go for it. This is my small advice for students.
People go for it. He's telling us, right? Go for it. Yeah, I was about to ask. What is the end note, or what was that one line or one philosophy that you've always believed, and आपको बहुत ज़्यादा उसका help हुआ है? So what that one line would be? You
Okay.
said many of them, like never settle or this, but एक चीज जो हमेशा से कि अच्छा all is well जो बोलते हम, तो वो all is well वाला line कौन सा है?
हाँ, मेरे को लगता है कि मेरे like if you ask me, I'm not somebody who finishes things first.
Okay.
But I'm not that guy who stops. मुझे किसी भी तरह finish line में पहुंच जाता हूँ, मैं खुशी खुशी रहता हूँ. I don't care about the world. I reach the finish line no matter what. So I think I've learned this from my parents. Like the level of commitment towards something makes you feel really satisfied. Doesn't matter if you're coming first, you're coming last. Doesn't matter what is the timing. Doesn't really matter. Age, weight, सब छोड़ दो, सब number है. The people, you become successful at 60, you are successful. That's it. Doesn't matter what is your age and all. So I would say people, should be very positive and stick to the commitments. अगर आपको कुछ चीज करना है, तो go for it. Okay. Don't, so as I usually say, I've also said this in one of my school speeches. This is a very popular thing that, decisions, when you're taking a decision, think 100 times before you do that. But once you take it, don't look back, because your decisions are not going to be wrong anytime. Your decisions are never wrong. The efforts that you put to make that decision right makes a whole difference. Right. So, it's a simple thing. Like if you see 2 World Cups, India in 2011, India won. And in 2016, 17, we lost. But if you see the difference, I mean, people blamed the captain for having chosen to, chase like second batting rather than, because the pressure is high. But it was the same in 2011. We chased and we won. So people praised Dhoni that he took such a decision. But in 2000, when we lost, people, criticized for the same reason. So the only difference here is we won and we lost. There's no other difference. So any decision can be right if you win it. So just go for the kill, win over something and make your decision right. That's it. So अब CA ले लिया, सोचो मत, जो भी लिया, जहाँ पे भी हो, you're wonderful. You've taken the right path. Go for the kill, win it, make your decision right. That's it. I'm sure. And enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. Exactly. That's very important, because then there's no point in doing something. So, just enjoy the process. And yes, I think one of the famous quotes, when I was in Pune, I would also want to say that apart from your wonderful learnings, I had an opportunity to attend Anand sir's class. He mentioned once, he said, V plus C is equal to P, right, which means visibility plus credibility is equal to profitability. and that's something which I still remember. So that's how important it was. So I think that's very important. You need to be visible. Yeah, get fresh in the morning, smile, wish, greet everybody, and interact with people. Connections are very important. So visibility is very important. People should know who you are. People should get inspired by you. So you have to have that visibility. And so credibility, obviously your words, आपने कुछ बोला है, तो that should be credible, and you need to ensure that you stick on to your commitment. So V plus E is P. I think that's so very well said. I would steal it from Anand sir. Please convey my regards to him.
Okay, I will. All right. So I thoroughly enjoyed this process, having been constantly keeping in touch with you, having lots of WhatsApp messages and the long call.
Yes, thank you.
कि ये जो हो रहा है
Never
इसके
ending
पीछे भी
calls.
नेवर एंडिंग कॉल, नेवर एंडिंग, एंड अप्रिसिएशन है कि आप जो मूव इन हो रहे हैं उसके साथ साथ यू आर डूइंग ऑल ऑफ दैट. तो मैं यही बोल रही हूँ कि आप जो स्टूडेंट्स है, व्यूअर्स है, उनके लिए इट्स जस्ट हाफ एन आवर, बट इसके पीछे बहुत सारा बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक चलता रहता है, बैकग्राउंड नॉइज रहता है, बहुत क्लियर करना पड़ता है. अच्छा अभी आपका टाइम, मेरा टाइम, इसका टाइम, उसका टाइम, राइट. सो ये सब एफर्ट्स डाल रहे हैं, सब सिर्फ अपने बेटरमेंट के लिए नहीं, हमारे बेटरमेंट के लिए नहीं. इट्स लाइक लार्जर गुड, है ना. एंड व्हेन वी डू दैट लार्जर गुड, ऑटोमेटिकली हम भी बढ़ते हैं आगे, प्रोग्रेस करते हैं. और यही ख्यालों के साथ मैं यहाँ पे जुड़ रही हूँ, लोगों को जुड़ा रही हूँ. आई होप पीपल यू लव्ड टॉकिंग विद विजय, एंड आई एम श्योर with given links and this thing, he'll be more than happy to answer your question or navigate you further, because I can totally see he's a people person, right, rather than so
Thank you.
that's that. And thank you so much, Vijay. I had a great time throughout this process, and of course, needless to mention, we'll keep in touch.
Sure.
Right?
हमारे बातें तो और भी ज़्यादा हैं.
Right.
And it was real pleasure to be at your channel, and I'm pretty sure, like, there's no doubt this is going to be a super hit, and students are going to love it. It's a wonderful concept altogether. I think I was also something I was looking and thinking about such concept, and you've done it. That's a very good thing. So just keep doing this wonderful work, Sayali, and you've always inspired us.
You being too kind. You too kind with your words right now. All right.
No. I'm being honest.
So it's a mutual admiration.
Yes. Chalo, let's accept it that way. Yes,
all right.
But yeah, all the students who are watching this, and whoever is watching, anybody wants any kind of help, want to reach out to me, or want to see what kind of a work I do apart from audit, like right. Photography ho gaya, music ho gaya. I have 2 pages in Instagram. You can put the links down, and people can just reach out to me anytime. I'm more than happy to help them.
Yeah. What else we need in life, right? So on that note, thank you so much, guys, for watching us. नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में ऐसे कुछ बहुत अच्छे, कुछ डिफरेंट, नेवर सेटल वाले, या फिर एंजॉय द प्रोसेस वाले, या फिर जो बोलते हैं हम कि हाँ ये सीए तो है, प्लस क्या है. सो ये जो प्लस क्या है वो वाले लोगों से मिलेंगे, बातें करेंगे, साथ में बढ़ेंगे, प्रोसेस एंजॉय करेंगे. टिल दैट, थैंक यू सो मच. आई विल सी यू ऑन द अदर हैंड, और अगले एपिसोड में मिलेंगे. थैंक यू.
Thank you. Cheers. Take care. Bye.